America is commonly viewed as the melting pot. Yet, all you see in the news are long and extensive reports of hate crimes and crimes against other groups due to the matter of difference between skin or just their religious beliefs. At this point, we're going to start segregating people based on their shoe size. Even more, we can see groups within Myanmar being segregated solely for a reason of being an ethnic minority, Rohingya. This isn't right. So, then we must ask ourselves, are we really there yet as global citizens, or are we just people who differentiate without any real reason? We'd be lying to ourselves to say that we have reached a globalized society. Think about it. The country we most firmly believe have reached a globalized society has a paradox within it. The USA, nicknamed the melting pot of the world, is most infamous for its hate crimes through white supremacy. Even in our case, we live in the most diversified society, Dubai, with more than 200 nationalities. Even in this so perfectly looking scheme, I've constantly faced a situation where I was segregated into my so-called Asian stereotype. One day, I remember my friend telling me this. You must be good at math since you're Asian. And also, do you ever get a grade below a B? After hearing these segregating words from my friends, I started to worry about this once perfectly globalized vision I had about Dubai. At the end of the day, we're all the same people from the same origin in Africa, as many anthropologists confirm. Although humankind has developed for over 200,000 years, we still fail to graduate from genetic supremacy. Then let me get back to my main point. You think you've heard it enough. Discrimination is bad. But before we just state that discrimination is bad, I feel like it's fundamentally important to understand why discrimination happens in the first place. Well, thankfully, I'm here to describe just that. The first civilization originated in current-day Ethiopia, and ever since, the nomads had adapted to the different areas of the world. The Eastern world had adapted to its hot and arid temperature to gain advantages in its hot weather, while other nomads traveled to the north to create current-day European regions. It is evident that they had taller height, attractive blue eyes, blonde hair, all physical advantages which caused them to feel superior to other regions. These characteristics were seen superior to other regions because they had a higher chance of marriage and also a higher success rate of hunting. This, according to Laura Polito, became the basis of supremacy into our society. The truth is, a major factor that shapes our society is economic issues happening all around the world. Think about it. Mexicans are being blamed for the low employment rate in America. Caucasians are all being mistaken for white supremacists. And African Americans are being blamed as criminals. According to a survey collected by Surveillance Public Data Bank, 55% of the population rate Asians as the smartest race, while another 53% rate Africans and Arabs as the most violent race. Looking at the insights of the reasons of why we discriminate in the modern world, we can safely say that this is due to us associating the different subgroups to the economic failure. Take America, for example. Since the 1980s, the Rust Belt area of America had suffered great loss due to the increased automation, especially in the coal and steel industry. Meanwhile, Trump convinced this population that this was due to the increased Mexican immigrants that had entered the country. Although, this brought immediate hate to the Mexican populations, although they had no direct influence to the economic crisis whatsoever. After getting into the root of all these issues, I guess we're here to see what we should be looking out for and how to prevent differentiation. Well, in my opinion, I feel like we need to build a society where even the simplest of people can become the owner of the fourth industrialized world. Again, take the city you're living in now, for instance. According to McKinsey & Co. analysis, Dubai continues as the world's most cosmopolitan city, with 83% of its population being expatriates, speaking over 140 different languages. With more communication, Dubai shows a great understanding between different cultures and much less miscommunication between different cultures. Even looking outside of our country, you can see organizations such as Doctors Without Borders who help without any discrimination. But really, it's not only that these large organizations can work to create a globalized world, but I'd rather believe that it's an inclusive operation that anyone can join as long as they prioritize change. Take the internet, for example. Although it might seem discriminatory at its nature through its anonymity, I believe it's a great way for us to foster a rationalized way of thinking and understand each other according to what we say. Under a similar text bubble, we judge each other based on what their ideas are, not just what we see and what we have as a prejudice. Even looking at the environment we're born in, we could say we're blessed with the best environment. We can make a shared economy that's open to anyone. Take cryptocurrency, for example. The so-called Bitcoin helped the participation of many without the intervention of the government. And also, people were treated equally, at least during the process of transaction of money. Conclusion is, we need to change the current individualistic society into a community spirit. Without this community spirit, it would seem almost impossible to build a globalized vision. As ironic as it may sound, we need to go back to the times where communitarianism was the basis of how our society functioned. Countries within communitarianism shows the least discrimination, as a success of that society is based on the society as a whole, not just the individual. Although a tangible solution may seem important, for that to occur, we need to make a society where we all understand each other as individuals, not just by making generalizations of others. In essence, we need to help the future generation understand what it means to live in a truly globalized society. Thank you.